Welcome to the Amazingly Alcohol-Free Mother and Daughter podcast. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Jules.
And we're here to share our honest and unfiltered experience of how alcohol has impacted both of our lives and our relationship, and to show you that change is absolutely possible. Our whole lives, my mom, Jules, has always said, we can do anything because we're girls. And now we're not just saying it, we're actually living it every single freaking day. We believe in progress over perfection, and we are proof that we can do hard and often uncomfortable things. Welcome. I'm so excited for this episode today. Today, we have our very first guest on the podcast, and our guest is Paula Devine. Paula is actually a dear friend of mine. She is a certified sobriety coach and the founder of the Happiest Hour, which is a concierge sobriety practice that supports women who are questioning the relationship with alcohol and really just want to live their best lives alcohol free. So super, super excited to talk to Paula today. And Paula, how are you? Thank you for joining. You're coming from Florida, right?
Yes, a rainy and it's cold here. It was in the 30s. It was in the 30s a few days ago, but it's cold and it's rainy. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be your first guest.
Yay! I feel honored that you said yes. And I want to talk about Florida because I actually saw you a couple weeks ago in Florida, and it was colder in Florida than it was Seattle. And everybody's so funny about the weather too. Everyone's like, I'm so jealous you're in Florida. I'm like, it's 33 degrees. I didn't even bring out my sunglasses once.
That was pretty cold, but we had
Yeah.
so much fun. It was so great seeing you. We laughed a lot.
Really cool. So one of the coolest things that I love just about my own journey is meeting women earlier on that I've just connected with virtually, which I never ever thought I would meet people online. What? Who is this person? But then I've also met these amazing coaches like you, Paula. So Paula and
Oh,
I met at Lighthouse Academy with Jen Hurst, who is the best of the best. And I call her my mentor. But we met last summer and now we've just connected and became friends. And then we met in real life a couple weeks ago in Florida.
so cool. It's crazy how our paths cross in life, just with everyone. It's all it's like it's not an accident. It's all meant to be. People are meant to come into your lives, and it's just been great.
I know, so great. And it's because we have this thing in common, alcohol,
Mhm.
which we just let go of. And it's really opened up our lives. And I sound so cheesy saying that, but it's really true. Just how
Right.
much changed for the better since I quit drinking. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, how much better our lives have changed, and that we're both on this same path to just living with purpose and intention. And when you find others that are on that same path, it's the connections are so valuable.
I know. I honestly feel like I didn't really have true connections like that until I quit drinking because I was kind of just living in this like, and I wasn't a daily drinker or anything, but I just never felt like those true connections where you could truly be yourself,
Yeah.
will share things that I would never share before. It's been such a just
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, we're just surviving most days. We're not thriving. And then once you
Yeah.
remove that piece that's occupying so much of our brain space, it opens up so much more time for other things that matter.
Yes. I know it's crazy. Well, awesome. Well, we'll definitely dig into like all the goodness that comes out of being alcohol free, but I would love to back it up and just hear more about your story. Maybe about when you're a kiddo growing up, where you grew up. I know that you were like a sports star in college. I want to hear it all. And then
Mm,
also just
well,
how alcohol kind of came into your life too along this journey. So I'd love to just hear it and just start there.
okay. All right. Well, I'm a South Florida native, one of the only few still around here. And I have great parents. My parents are super cool. It was not a home where alcohol was abused at all. My parents were very loving. They're very hardworking people. They weren't big into socializing. Their main focus was working and raising us and doing the best job that they could, giving us the most that they could. So, yeah, I discovered alcohol in high school. I was very social. I was a social butterfly. And once I added drinks to that, it just really made it easier. And it was like I definitely have the disease of more, we'll call it, more fun, more friends. I was always craving more excitement, never wanted the party to end. So alcohol and I we were pretty close right off the bat. We were friends. And then into college, I don't know if I was a sports star, but I was a decent golfer. So I went away to college to play golf, and all my friends went to the number one party school, which was Florida State University, and I went to play golf, which lasted only a year because I was anxious to be with my friends who were having so much fun going to all these parties, and they were just having the time of their life. So I left school and went to transferred to Florida State, and it was great. I partied and I got my degree in marketing, and yeah, and then it was good. I drank when it was time to drink, and I studied when it was time to study. It wasn't like anything disastrous, or my parents had to come pick me up from school. Like that's happened to many people I know. And then after college, I went to work in the alcohol business. My family had we have a lot of people in the alcohol industry, and so I went right into partying for a living, drinking for a living. It was perfect for me. And that was a wild
I would love that. I'd been like, this is what I get to do. This is amazing.
I know. Yeah, friends were like, "Wait, what do you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's great. You're in your 20s and you can party all week," and it was great. But it was a wild time. Definitely very unhinged at many times. But it was good, and I met my husband in the business, and we had a lot of fun. And I got pregnant back to back with my daughter first and then my son. And not a lot of partying or entertaining, and all of the lifestyle we had led before went on for that didn't go on for, after we had kids for a while. We were just trying to sleep through the night was our was our only goal.
I get it.
So, yeah, but we, managed to like have a good social life and be with friends, and then the kids really got older, and we had more independence. And it was never really a problem. I mean, drinking was just part of our lives, and it was what we how we unwind. It was how we socialized. It was still part of my husband's business. So I was still very much surrounded by it all the time. And really no, someone asked me the other day, were there any like obvious signs that alcohol was not a good thing in your life? And it never crossed my mind that it wasn't a good thing. At times I may have thought, seems a little excessive, but what are you going to do? I mean, everybody's doing it.
Same.
Nobody's pulling me aside. It wasn't like my life was falling apart or anything bad was happening. So, yeah, that was our lifestyle for a long time. And then as the kids started to get a little bit older, it was definitely a little more, and like our little mirrors walking around, like, you're drinking too much, or you drank too much last night, or why were you acting like that, or why did you do this and that? And it was just constantly dismissing them, like, "You guys don't understand, we're adults, we can have fun, I take care of you guys all week, let me just do what I need to do and leave me alone," basically.
Yeah.
And I look back on that, and, we can't change the things that we've done in our past, but just feeling sad that that's how I, dismissed a lot of the way that they felt, and that's so confusing for these kids. No, they see you not in your, not being 100%. But then you're telling them that this is what you want to do and this is what you're going to do. And kids don't want to hurt our feelings. They love us. So, yeah, so that like I said, nobody would ever pulled me aside. So that's what makes it so confusing, because everybody else is doing it. Why should I, it's fine. I've never known anyone to be sober. I had one family member that was, in the program, and he had lost a lot. So, it was you could see why he was working a program. and I couldn't relate to that. So it just didn't seem like, stopping was even an option.
Yeah, quick question on that. So as far as your kids, and I know they're older now, but do you still have that shame and regret? Or how do you get through have that moments of, I wish I would have done that differently now? Or I'm guessing you probably face this with clients too, because I know I do, just that shame and guilt. How do you kind of move through that?
I think the way to move through it is to just know that we can't change the past. And it's really a process of letting go and just understanding that we did the best that we could at the time. We didn't know any better. Even if you're not drinking every day, you still don't have the clarity that you and I get to have today. And also, I think communication with my kids has been essential on this journey and letting them know that that was not who I really was. And just a living amends every day that I don't drink is proof to them that I want to be the best mom I can be, and being present is my number one priority, is to be present and connected um and be there for them emotionally, because a lot of times there's times where they don't feel safe. Not that they don't feel safe in their environment, but that they don't feel safe emotionally, or that you're there for them. And I know I've heard from, my kids and other people's kids also, like even the driving, you're getting together with friends and you're having drinks, and then you're getting behind the wheel of a car. And that's scary for them because they're not going to say anything to you, but at the end of the day, they know that it's not okay. And so, yeah, so that's really how I kind of move forward with that. It's hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. And I think also too, it's like, yes, at this point you were drinking a lot, maybe prioritizing it over them, not being as present, but also all the other things that you did do with the mom that were so great. At the end of the day, we're good parents. And there's just
Yeah.
this one thing drinking we were doing. And again, like you said, we did the best we had. I don't know. I didn't grow up with tools, especially I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with how to deal with any of emotions in life. Drinking is just kind of what I learned over the years. And so,
Right.
yeah, because
Yeah,
it
and
is
it's true, like you're saying, it
hard.
doesn't, and that's the thing, to forgive ourselves, because the drinking doesn't define us as moms, you know? Yes, at times drinking was making me a worse mom, for sure. I wasn't drinking because I was this bad mom. The drinking was making me a bad mom at times. But in the whole picture, and especially seeing how my kids have grown into these beautiful, young, healthy adults with good relationships, and they have a big heart, and they're just good people. I know I still have to forgive myself. Like, you're a good mom. Yes, there was this thing over here that got in the way sometimes, but that wasn't the whole picture
Yeah.
of who I was.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot
So,
of us can just remember that. It's like, cause you get so just stuck in that shame or that negativity. And it's even just a normal day. It's like, oh, I didn't get all this stuff done. I didn't do this. And then it's like, well, but I did all this stuff. Right. So it's that mindset too. We always just go to the negative stuff. So,
we
so it's just,
do.
yeah.
Well, and
Mm.
I think that's why gratitude is so important in this journey, because if you start to get stuck on the things that you've done, it could really take you either back to drinking, it could take you back to another place that you don't wanna go there anymore. I mean, we can't change the past, but we can
Yeah.
definitely change the future. We can change the ending.
Yeah.
And having gratitude for how far you've come and just showing up, the fact that we're even recognizing that this isn't who we wanna be anymore is incredible. I mean, it's such a gift. There's so many people out there that will never get the chance to do that. And to just
Yeah.
be grateful for that too. And I think the gratitude's always going to bring you back to the now,
Yes.
and and that really keeps you sober. The gratitude.
So much. I'm a huge fan of the gratitude, and it's such a simple practice you can do very quickly each day, but it really just turns into the abundance and the goodness that's going on around us. And yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Why don't we finish up your story then?
So fast forward, they're in high school, and that was a really big shift in my relationship with alcohol because now it was getting a little scarier to drink because now they're driving, which is your kids are little, but when they start
That's so
driving,
terrifying. I'm, like, scared of
it's
them in the next
terrifying.
room by themselves. Like, I don't even know what I would do.
Yeah, it is. It's terrifying. And, everything runs through your mind. Like, what if they get in an accident and I can't go help them because I've had a couple drinks? Or, it just becomes a little more serious. At least for me, it did. And thank God um, that I was able to recognize, okay, I can't, I need to be a little more alert. I need to be a little more present. But then there also was the other side of that is, well, now I can't drink Friday and Saturday night. I can only have drinks on Sundays, and then I can't drink on this day because they're going to be driving here. So now what happened was I started to like plan it and plan I can't be hungover because there's a sporting event the next day. Like all this planning that went around it and planning when I was going to drink again, trying to make sure I drank a certain amount, trying to make sure I wasn't hungover on certain days. All those things started to just consume me. I mean, it is the insanity of it.
Yeah.
So the high school really got scary. And then I'm drinking and I'm telling them not to drink because now they're starting to go to parties and they're starting to be around alcohol and experiment with alcohol and all the things that go on in high school. So it just really started to feel like I felt really out of alignment a lot. And it was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Not only is it making me mentally sick, my soul is wrecked over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's just this constant negotiation going on in my mind. It's just not, this isn't fun anymore. And now when I do decide to have drinks, it's most likely going to be more than I'm planning because I'm not getting to do it as often. The comments are flying now even more because now they're older and they know what's up. And then they were mad at me all the time. And that got old too.
Yeah.
So on the last day I had drinks with some girlfriends and just woke up in the morning feeling like absolute shit. And my daughter was really mad at me. And it was just not a good situation. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. This is it. The fear at that point to keep going was, you know, so much greater than the fear of making a change.
Yes. Yes.
And that's when I was like, I am done. I had said I was done 1,000 times and I just didn't. I know I told you last time saw you it's still the same holds true is that I didn't have those words left in me. I couldn't
Yeah.
say it one more time. I was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Yeah.
it's scary. It's scary because there's so much fear wrapped around you know, quitting drinking and the fear just holds us back so much. And for what? Like, what was I really afraid of? I mean, I know what I was afraid of, but there's so much fear around it.
Well, it's the social stuff, right? It's like being social. What will my friends say or my partner say, my family? Like, am I gonna, like you said, you always wanted more, 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 more. Like, are you gonna still have more fun? Because I remember at one point I was drinking after I had Edward, and I was like, "This is the life. I could drink all the time. I'm an adult," and I was having the best time. And I was like, I really wasn't, but in my mind, I was like, "This is great because this is what everybody's doing." Yes, I'm hungover and feel like shit, but I'm living the life. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're like, no more. But there's just so much fear around it with women. I think it's
Yeah,
just that
there
FOMO.
is.
And it's like, honestly, you gain so much more by letting go of alcohol, but it's really hard to see that when you're in it. And it's just
Yeah.
like such so deeply ingrained in your life.
Yeah. And like you were saying, like the fun of it even though there's like these awful moments and awful mornings, there's still a little bit of fun sprinkled in there too. And that's what keeps us so stuck.
Yeah.
And saying like, well, maybe it's really not that bad, you know? And even sometimes I'm like, am I being dramatic? Was this really not that bad?
Yeah.
You know? But then I think about how much better my life is now.
Mhm.
And that's when I'm like, no, don't even question it. The fact that your life is so much better now, that just goes to show you that I wasn't being dramatic. It needed to go.
And needed. And you gotta trust
Yeah.
too that feeling. Like when you start to like have that feeling deep inside, that like spur, it's like you have to
Mhm.
listen to it because it's your intuition telling you. And obviously something is really up right here. And a lot of
Yeah.
us listen to it for so long, but we just never do it, or we try and then we just kind of go back, start, stop. But once you like hit that moment where you're like, I'm done and you just keep going, it's just
Yeah.
unlocked so much. And the cost versus the benefits. I mean, the benefits are just insane compared to all the costs of drinking.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So how did you quit? So you went to AA, right? So is that how you went on your journey, or did you start with podcasts? I want to hear how you moved forward with it.
So I did a lot of things. I was all in. And I
Okay,
think
good.
that's the biggest thing too when we say we're done is making it a priority. This
Yeah.
became my priority. I put this first because I knew that if I didn't put this first, I wasn't going to be able to be the mom that I knew I really was and yet and at times wasn't. But if I really wanted to just get out of this constant battle of being two different people, then this had to be a priority. So the first thing I did was I actually hired a therapist because I was AA to me seemed it still seemed a little bit scary and it felt a little dramatic because I still didn't really think I had a problem. I just wanted to like stop feeling like shit and get my kids from being mad at me. My
Yeah.
husband, he didn't know what to do. It's like, well, sometimes you go a little too far, but like maybe just cut back, And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, no, I'm
Yeah.
done. Like, I'm over this shit.
And you're like, I've tried
So
it too. I've tried to cut back. I've tried all the
yeah, I've
things.
tried like 100 times and like, yeah, it's
Same.
not
I was
working.
always like, "Oh, I'm gonna switch to wine because 'cause I'll drink less because I was a beer drinker, or I'm gonna try a water between drinks, or I'm only drinking one night a week." And it was just like never like, it just none of it worked. None of it
Yeah,
at all. You just
no,
gotta quit.
it's true. So I first went to get a therapist and he was the one who was like, you really need to try some meetings and you need to, he asked me why I was drinking. I told him it because I thought it was fun. He's like, okay. I don't think so, but is that really the story you're telling yourself? Um, yeah, I only went to like a few sessions because he was so brutally honest with me that you're
Oh
fired.
god. You're like
We don't want to hear that,
you're
okay?
like, "Get out of here.
Just
What you
tell me how
hired
to
me
live
to do,
without
but we don't wanna
hangovers
we
and
don't
we're
wanna
good.
go deep." Ah,
And then I eventually did find some meetings. Like so I live in an area, I live in South Florida where there are tons of meetings, there's tons of recovery centers. I mean, you can find a meeting for anything here. And so I was very fortunate that I found a couple all women's meetings that have just been the most amazing experience, the most beautiful groups of women just like me that didn't have this catastrophe or this horrible rock bottom, very professional, sophisticated women that I really related to. And I had to really accept the fact that, yes, all of our stories were different, but there was still the one thing that we all had in common. And if I left any meeting with one thing, then it was worth it. I could just sit in the back and listen. And if I walked away with one thing, it was worth going. And so, yeah, so I did that. And then in conjunction with that, I reached out to some girlfriends who were kind of feeling the same way I was. They just tired of drinking. And I said, why don't we start our own little group and we'll support each other and we'll meet once a week and let's see how that goes. Because I don't know if these meetings are going to work. I'm not really sure how that's going to go because I was still a little scared, but.
Yeah,
And so they were like, yeah. So we started off, I think there was like 3 or 4 of us that we got together and we just started talking. We had some books that we were reading and just kind of like supported one another with whatever we were struggling with or wherever we were on this journey. Some of us were new, some of us had done it, been doing it a few years, and everybody just kind of guided one another and not really gave advice, but just support of what really worked for them. And it was all on the down low. I didn't put it out there publicly. I didn't put it out there on social media. It was all by word of mouth, friends of a friend who, you know, that's how we grew. And we grew to in the first year we were at like 20, 21 women.
that's crazy, Paula. That's
It's
amazing.
crazy that it was like on the DL, very, very,
Secret
very
club.
private, like a secret club. It was um, like a speakeasy for sober people. And so that went on. Yeah. So we did that we're still going and it's been over 3 years. And then I was ready for a career change myself. And so I decided to get certified as a recovery coach. Um, and then also I took Jen's coaching academy, which was great. And so between the two different styles of coaching, mentoring, that's where I kind of formed my own. And plus with the experience that I had had with these girls in my group and
Yeah.
what was working for them and in the environment that we live in and, a very um hot a big drinking culture here in South
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. Spring break, baby. That's what I think
It's
about when I
spring
hear South Florida.
break, people
Every time you
vacation here. It's a big
Mhm.
boating community, the
Yes,
beach. We all have a lot of that in common. We
yeah.
also have the fact that we're mothers. We have that in common. A lot of us have become empty nesters in sobriety, which has been another really beautiful experience that I don't think would have been as enjoyable if I was still in my drinking days. It felt really good that I had done a good job and I was excited for them to leave for school instead of just, feeling sorry for myself and drinking it away. So yeah, we just get to experience all that stuff together as a community and so it's been good.
I love it. And the community is so powerful. Just like
Mm.
it's been huge for me. And obviously, it's been huge for you. And I've seen in videos of your space, and it's been really cool for me because I met you last summer and I know you started, you launched your business and it's just so beautiful there. So you do in person, one on one there, group coaching, and then you also do Zoom
I
calls
do Zoom
or.
coaching as well.
Yeah,
Yes. So
awesome.
virtual
Oh,
coaching and we meet one with my private clients. I meet once or twice a week. And then in March, I'm probably going to open it up to more virtual Zoom groups.
oh, cool. Oh, that's so exciting. So everything you built is just, I'm just so excited for you and all the women that get to go to this beautiful space. And then really being able to open up on Zoom is really cool. And so just curious, how many years have you been alcohol free now?
So it's been exactly 3 years and 3 months.
We're super close because I'm
Yes.
July 5th, 2022. And so you were.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was November.
Okay, so we're really close. I love that. So you've worked with so many women, inspired so many women. And so, what is the biggest piece of advice that you typically would give to maybe a woman that's thinking about quitting alcohol, or maybe somebody earlier on, or kind of what is that one thing that you feel like the world needs to know?
I guess how much longer do you want to keep feeling like this? Can you imagine what life would be like without it? Life is so short. And to just stay stuck in that miserable middle is just it's just not worth it. And to just find the honesty to be honest with yourself about how this is affecting you, because in the end, there's so much more to life than being stuck there, just to be living with more intention and purpose, and to just really be able to show up for your family and for yourself, and instead of being out of alignment all the time.
I love that. I love that so much
That's
because a lot of the times we ask people, tools or, do this. And you just got to be like honest with yourself, right? Like, what do you really
Yeah.
want? Oh, I love that, Paula, so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
And I think that's been the gift for me of the meetings that I've attended with other women outside of my group and other groups, is the spirituality aspect of it has really helped me to have a deeper recovery. Because the recovery piece is really important, to just acknowledge what we had done. And I mean, recovery's the healing process of the drinking. And that's the emotional sobriety part that keeps us sober longer and having quality sobriety. You know, there's differences. There just is. I mean, they say, you can have somebody who's sober 10 years and somebody who's sober 6 months, and you could still be on the same, at the same level.
So would you say it's like putting in like the work and kind of like going to a therapist or, leaning into your community or whatever it may be and
Right.
like journaling or just really kind of
Yeah,
face.
journaling, meditating. Even I have found a lot of spirituality just in going to yoga. I'm not saying I got it all from one place. I've done a lot of different things, but walking meditations and journaling and just constantly checking in with yourself. Yeah, that's what's going to give you a like a good recovery. A good
I agree with
you're working what I think is a good program.
Yep. I love that. I love that. Awesome. Well, Paula, for those that want to check you out, maybe work with you, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at happiest_hour AF, standing for
Okay.
alcohol free.
I love that.
And you can find me, my website is www.happiesthouraf.com. And there you can find more information about my coaching, my private coaching, and you can schedule a consultation, like a 20-minute chat, just to see where you are, where I am, see if we're a good fit, see if I can help you on this journey and to get started. And yeah, I think website, Instagram. Yeah. Or you can DM me on Instagram too. That's pretty quick
Okay,
turnaround.
awesome. Thank you. And I'll put everything about Paula and the happiest hour in the show notes. I'm so happy that you're here, Paula. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. It's so good to see you. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. And please, if you wish, I would love a 5-star review just so we can continue to share our message about, what a wonderful journey being alcohol free is. And just remember, you got this, keep going, and have an amazingly alcohol free day.
Thanks, Jamie.